So I'm curious about you personally and the way that you hold yourself to a higher standard and the way that you go about offering yourself grace, or like what is your like what how do you I'm trying to like frame the question in a way that's like are you hard on yourself when it comes to like building the business or doing things perfectly? Like, are you a perfectionist, or are you more so somebody's just like, we're trying to figure it out, guys. Like, we're all in this together, and it's like, it's okay to make mistakes.
All of the above.
Yeah.
I am 100% critical of myself, and extremely hard on myself. At the same time, I have a good team. We're allowed to make mistakes, but I expect excellence, like all the time, you know. And I don't. That's not for me just at a business level, right? I think, when I was your age, all I cared about was business and making money, and as much money as I could. I wasn't married. I had kids. I had a different set of responsibilities, and so now success at where I'm at in my life is defined very differently. When you're young, in your 20s, success a lot of times is in a silo, driven around money and success and accomplishment. And then as you get a little older and you kind of get that, I hesitate to use the term mastered, but as you get that dialed in, you take on new responsibilities as a spouse, as a parent, as a leader of an organization, rather than just having a person or two on your team. Then success to me is defined by really who you're becoming along the journey of making that money, right? Who you are as a spouse, who you are as a father, who you are or a mother, who you are as a leader. How are you making an impact on the world around you? Because at some point you're going to make more money than you need, and what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Because it loses its luster, it loses its adrenaline rush, but yeah, very hard on myself. I am ruthlessly and relentlessly pursuing excellence at all times, and grace for me usually comes in moments of surprise. And so what does that mean, right? A perfect example, like a few weeks ago, somebody asked me for something, and it involved me sending them a picture from something that happened last December, right? And so as I'm opening up my phone, flicking through to get to December, I'm looking at all these pictures that have shown me the things that have happened in my life since December, right? Since December, just 9 months ago. And I'm getting humbled at that moment. Because most days, you just, right? Like a bulldozer, all day, every day, always looking out at the future, always seeing a better tomorrow. And sometimes it takes those moments to appreciate today, right? You're like, wow, look at the stuff that I get to do, Look at the stuff that I've been involved in as a father, as a husband, as friends, and I think when you're hard on yourself, like, you can really easily lose sight. It gets in the rearview mirror very quickly, right? And then you're just ruthlessly after progression. And then the other thing too, that gives me grace is I have what effectively something called a legacy letter, if you will. It's in my bag right in the mudroom right now, but it's a letter that talks about who I am becoming in each facet of my life over the next 12 months, right? What's my relationship like with God? What's my relationship look like with my daughter, my wife, my mind, my body, my business, my friends, and how. So it's not necessarily who I am today, but at the end, like I did it back in November of last year. Who am I going to be at the end of 2023? And there's that document shows me the progress I've made, and it also shows me the holes in which need to be filled, because I've written things down. That document at this point is almost a year old. and it's a living, breathing document. I change it and adapt it and so forth. But there's things that when you read it a couple times a week, you read it a couple times a week and a couple times next week and a couple times next week. And you're like, that one thing right there, I'm not doing it. I haven't done it. Right. And normally if I say I'm going to do something, I'll do it. I'm hard on myself, but that document as a whole allows me to say, oh, well, you've done this and you've done this and you've done this and you've accomplished that. And you've made this move. And so it allows me to see a balance of what I've done versus just what I haven't done. And when you have a balance, you can give yourself a little bit of grace, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.